patriot.com. We have Congressman Steve King, who is from Iowa, who said what some would say is pretty controversial stuff. I think he's accurate. Congressman, how are you, sir?
I'm doing okay this morning. I have a fair amount of anxiety about what's happening to our liberty in America this week, Glenn, but other than that, I'm healthy.
Where are you calling from now? Washington?
I'm in my office in Washington.
Okay. Do you think this is going to pass this week?
I think that this is a jump ball. It has the advantages to Pelosi. She's 6'5", and we're 5'6" right now. But we can take this away. It's not a hopeless cause at all. They would say I'd leave you in the dust to go to a sports metaphor, but I'd say it's about 4th and goal from the 1-yard line, and we need to dig in and take these people on. We can beat them, Glenn.
How?
We can beat them if we fill this capital city up full of patriotic Americans. If tens of thousands pour into this city again, like they have done numerous times before, pack this capital, jam this capital, surround the place, don't let anybody in or anybody out, they will have to capitulate. They'll have to tip over their king and say, we just don't have the will to do this to the American people who despise those.
When do they have to do this?
We have to do it, and we're the Tea Party.
But when? Like tomorrow?
It needs to be on Saturday at noon. If it could start today, that would be great. It needs to reach its crescendo on Saturday at noon. And we need to keep that vigil up all night until Sunday when she plans the vote. And we'll know by Saturday the timing of the vote, and we'll be able to bring our forces to bear then, too.
So for sure they won't be voting on this today or tomorrow, though? We know that for sure?
We understand that anything could happen with this speaker, but they seem to be committed to the 72-hour rule of file the bill and then 72 hours before they would bring it to a vote. So that means they can't vote before Sunday if they follow that rule. And it looks like we'll have a debate on Saturday, perhaps, and then again a vote on Sunday. So we have some applications out for a permit to have a huge press conference, and we're asking for that permit now. The timing is noon on Saturday, and everybody that can come to this city makes a difference. They just cannot see the whites of our eyes and have the will to do this to the American people. They have to commit political suicide to vote for it anyway, but still they have to face their constituents the rest of their life. I don't think they've got the will to do that. That's the one thing we can do to kill this at this point.
Does it make a difference? I've been saying that people need to hold vigils. If you couldn't go to Washington and hold vigils, go to your local congressional district office and stand and sit down and refuse to leave the office as well. Does it make a difference to have people locally as well?
Yes, it does. It really makes a difference. And the district offices, some of those offices like mine, it's not going to make any difference. There's nothing in the world that could cause me to vote for this bill. And that's the case with every Republican in America. That's the case with a number of Democrats.
Hang on just a second. Steve?
Yes.
You're telling me for sure there won't be one single Republican that votes for this?
That's right. I am very confident in that.
I would like to say to the Republican Party, thank you. Okay,
thanks for saying that, Glenn. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thank you for doing that. Okay, so now if people just come, they're not going to be kicked off, though? Or, I mean, you're going to have the permits and everything to do it? I mean,
we've just asked for the permits, so I can't say that we have them right now. But they have to also have a reasonable reason to refuse those permits. Furthermore, I expect we will get them. And furthermore, people have a right to walk on the Capitol grounds. Yeah. It's American property. It's nationally owned property. And when the offices are open, which I'm not sure about how that will actually be on Saturday, if we're in session, I believe the offices will be open. But people can go into the congressional offices. The hallways are public property. They still have to go through the metal detector, and they have to behave in a respectful way. But they can still go into the offices. They can walk into the offices of the members of Congress that they want to influence. If they're asked to leave, they actually should leave because the member controls the space in his office and should. But if this Capitol is full of people, and we do that huge press conference as we did before on the 5th of November out on the west side of the Capitol, when we had between 10 and 50,000 people poured in there that day, and of course the 9/12 rally that took place, that was the greatest number of people, I think, since the well, certainly since the presidential inauguration. And that just makes so much difference, seeing the faces, stacking the people up here. If they can go to the district offices, I'd say do that if you can't get to Washington. But people can, here's the call, drop your plows and your hammers and get on a plane or a bus or drive your pickup truck, come into Washington, D.C., fill this city up. They intend to vote on the Sabbath during Lent to take away the liberty that we have to come from God.
Steve, you're a religious man?
Yes.
Thank you for pointing this out. I thought of this the other day because I've been saying faith, hope, and charity. Faith has been perverted, and our hope, they're trying to sell this hope that we'll have faith in the government, that they'll be charitable. And I thought they are going to vote for this damn thing on a Sunday, which is the Sabbath, during Lent. You couldn't have said it better. Here is a group of people that have so perverted our faith and our hope and our charity that this is an affront to God. And I honestly, I don't think that anybody's like, yes, and now what we'll do is we'll vote on the Sabbath. But I think that it is absolutely appropriate that these people are trying to put the nail in the coffin on our country on a Sunday, something our founders would have never, ever done, out of respect for God.
That's right, and our founders and the Congress itself went to church in this very same Capitol building with formal services for the first 60 years that the Capitol was up.
Just so you know, America, started by Thomas Jefferson. You know, the godless heathen. Started by Thomas Jefferson.
And Thomas Jefferson, if you go to his monument here in Washington, you will see of the 4 quotes of the panels that are there, 2 of them reference God. This is a nation that's founded on Judeo-Christian principles, and our rights do come from God, and our founders knew it and understood it, and they put it in the Declaration. And here we are at this time. These rights, and I use the word liberty rather than freedom because the left has perverted the word freedom to mean their freedom to do any hedonistic thing they want to do and do it with your tax dollars. But liberty is a different thing. Liberty is bridled by morality and faith and religion, Steve, and that's what's made this a country great.
Steve, have you talked to the Democrats that are pro-life? Are they hard fast in this? Are they going to be talked out of it?
Well, Glenn, they say they are the Stupak dozen, so to speak. I think Bart Stupak is solid, but the other 11 names are not public. And one can speculate, and I hear that a half a dozen or so have been outed, so to speak, but you can't hold people to their word if you don't know who they are. They can slide away from us at the last minute like Dennis Kucinich did on the other side of this equation. So I don't think their convictions run as deep as they do on the other side of the aisle. I am a member of the Bipartisan Pro-Life Caucus. When we close that door and there's no staff or press in the room, the debate goes to, don't score our vote for Nancy Pelosi. Don't tell us that that's not, that it's not a pro-life vote. But even voting for Nancy Pelosi enables the anti-life agenda. It enables the socialized medicine agenda. It enables cap and tax. It enables all of that. So I don't want to let any of them off the hook for moving the San Francisco agenda and helping to impose it upon America.